You can try to lock your country away from this.
Investor Day that we're going to be involved in the trading of.
Hey everyone, so I've been tracking this for a while now. Banks have been absolutely freaking out about crypto, and honestly, it's happening faster than ever before. Here's the thing, stablecoins aren't just some side project anymore. They're becoming the backbone of our entire financial system. And guess what? The big banks finally figured this out, and now they're scrambling to hop on the crypto train before it's too late. But here's my take. That train? It already left the station. We're just pulling into the first major stop right now. The banks are looking around thinking, oh wow, this thing actually works, and it works really well. Now they're all fighting to get on board. And that brings us to this massive announcement that just dropped. US Bank Corp, we're talking about a $74 billion giant here, just launched a brand new division focused entirely on digital assets and money movement. And let me tell you something, this is just the beginning. What's absolutely wild is that banks are now preparing to offer serious, heavyweight crypto support. This isn't just dipping their toes in the water anymore. We're talking about full-scale crypto services, payment rails that'll move money around the globe in seconds, and all of these transactions being settled on blockchain technology. This is where things get really exciting. We're witnessing institutional adoption on a massive scale. And US Bank Corporation? They're just the first domino to fall. And it doesn't stop there. Spain's biggest bank, Santandere, just rolled out crypto trading for all their everyday customers. Pretty huge, right? Now, here's something interesting I've been noticing. A lot of these major banks making these crypto announcements, they've got some serious connections to Ripple. Just saying. But anyway, this is another massive move in the banking world. What's really catching my attention is that most of these big announcements are focused on crypto trading and basic crypto services. Now, they're not exactly spilling all the details about their long-term crypto plans. Banks love to keep things mysterious, don't they? But here's what I think is happening. The fact that we're seeing these massive institutions launch crypto services for their customers, this is literally just the tip of the iceberg. Mark my words, we're about to see these same banks launch full tokenization services. They're probably going to start integrating stablecoins directly into their business models. What we're witnessing right now? It's just phase one of something much, much bigger. The crypto revolution in traditional banking has officially begun, and we're getting front-row seats to watch it all unfold. But wait, there's more. We've also got PNC Bank jumping into the game. Now, if you've been following this space, you'll know that PNC, Santandere, and US Bank Corp have all been rumored to be Ripple partners at some point. PNC especially. They were literally featured on Ripple's website along with Santandere. So get this. PNC Bank, worth a massive $410 billion, just partnered with Coinbase to offer crypto services to their customers. Again, we're seeing this pattern of crypto services everywhere. Now here's why this is absolutely game-changing for mass adoption. I know some of you might be thinking, how does this actually lead to regular people using crypto? Well, let me paint a picture. Imagine you're just a regular person who's never touched crypto before. Maybe it seems too complicated, too risky, or you just don't know where to start. But you've been banking with PNC for years. You trust them, right? Then one day, you open up your banking app and boom, there's a crypto section right there. No need to deal with those sketchy exchanges you've heard horror stories about. No need to figure out complicated wallets or worry about security. It's all right there, in the app you already use and trust. This is huge for building confidence. When your trusted bank offers crypto services, it removes all those barriers that kept people away. Suddenly, millions of bank customers can easily buy, sell, and trade crypto with just a few taps. This isn't just a business move. This is the bridge that's going to bring mainstream users into crypto. And here's where things get really spicy. The Bank of England just made a massive announcement. They're lifting stablecoin holding limits once digital assets no longer threaten the economy. Oh, and they're calling these restrictions temporary. Sure they are. Now, let's be real here for a second. Whenever these big banks or central banks start talking about crypto being a threat to the economy, what they're really saying is, this is a threat to our business model. Think about it. Stablecoins are absolutely exploding in growth, and these traditional institutions are watching their monopoly on money movement slowly slip away. Of course they're going to call it a threat, but you know what? I actually love seeing these big banks and central banks getting rattled by crypto. Whether it's stablecoins, Bitcoin, or any other digital asset, When they start feeling threatened, that tells me everything I need to know. It's proof that this technology is working exactly as intended. It's so efficient, so disruptive, and so powerful that it's making some of the world's most established financial institutions nervous. When the Bank of England is scrambling to put limits on stablecoins and then calling those limits temporary, that's not them being cautious. That's them realizing they can't stop what's coming. And honestly, that's the best endorsement crypto could ask for. Speaking of major moves, let's talk about Citi. They just announced they're targeting a 2026 launch for their crypto custody service. And guess what? They're not alone. Wall Street is diving headfirst into digital assets right now. Whew. We're talking about the biggest names in banking here. JP Morgan, Bank of America. They're all exploring stablecoins. These aren't small community banks, folks. These are the giants that move trillions of dollars around the world. Now here's what's really interesting. While the UK is being a bit, let's say, cautious about stablecoins and crypto in general, all the major US banks are rushing to get in on the action. And you know why? It all comes down to one thing: regulatory clarity. The US has been creating a more crypto-friendly environment, and these banks are capitalizing on it big time. But here's where it gets exciting. Imagine what's going to happen when the UK and other countries around the world start following suit. We're literally on the verge of a global flood of banks entering the crypto space, especially around stablecoins. When the regulatory dominoes start falling in favor of crypto worldwide, we're going to see an absolute tsunami of institutional adoption. The floodgates are about to open, and we're watching it happen in real time. Now, we also have a video regarding JP Morgan saying that they will allow clients to trade crypto, and they are exploring custody options. Check this out. This is from Subjective Views. Listen closely.
Just in terms of another big topic that the banks are focused on, custody of crypto assets. I was speaking to Citi last week, suggesting they're going to launch their own crypto custody service. This is actually holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other tokens as well. When it comes to how you're approaching digital assets, how big a topic is custody right now? Is it something that you're looking to launch as well?
From a JP Morgan side, I don't think that's in the near-term horizon for us. I think Jamie was pretty clear at Investor Day that we're going to be involved in the trading of that, but custody isn't on the table at the moment. There's a lot of questions around our own risk appetite of how far we want to go down that path from trading and other sides of it, and then custody, I guess, would follow. But naturally, we need custodians, so we're exploring what the right custodians for us for the business footprint that will grow.
And here's the kicker. We're talking about JP Morgan, literally the biggest bank in the world. They just announced they're letting their clients trade crypto, and they're exploring custody options. But wait, it gets even better. They've already launched their own tokenized deposit token called JPMD. When the world's largest bank is not just dipping their toes in crypto, but actually creating their own digital tokens, you know something massive is happening. This is it, folks. We're watching the biggest banks in the world sound the alarm bells. They're not fighting crypto anymore. They're joining it, and they're doing it fast. And it's not just happening in the US. Japan's biggest banks are jumping on board too. We're talking about Mitsubishi UFJ, SMFG, and Mizuho. Hopefully I got that pronunciation right. They're all planning to issue stablecoins for commercial use. This is absolutely wild, you guys. We're literally watching every major bank around the globe make their move into crypto. It doesn't matter if they're in the US, Japan, Europe, or anywhere else. They're all looking at crypto and stablecoins right now. The FOMO is real. Every single one of these banks wants to get on the crypto train before it completely leaves them behind. This isn't a coincidence. This is a full-scale global banking revolution happening right before our eyes. But wait, it gets even better. Right as all this is happening, we get this bombshell statement from the IMF Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva. She literally said, "You have to accept reality. Fiat money is moving digital." Let that sink in for a second. This is huge. This isn't just any random statement. This is massive confirmation of exactly what we've been talking about. And here's what makes this so incredible. The IMF has been one of crypto's biggest critics for years. They've been throwing shade at digital assets left and right. But now they're completely flipping the script and going bullish. They're not just acknowledging that this digital transformation is happening. They're telling everyone, hey, this is reality now. You better accept it. When organizations that used to be crypto's biggest enemies start telling people to embrace the digital future, You know we've hit a major turning point. This is them basically saying, we can't fight this anymore. Digital money is the future, and it's happening whether you like it or not. Pay attention to this moment, folks. This is history in the making.
But generally, you tell them to embrace it?
I'm telling countries, accept reality. Fiat money is moving digital. The developments in crypto, both unbacked and backed, they're happening with exponential speed. So yeah, you can try to lock your country away from this. Good luck with it. So yes, I'm telling my members, understand it and then decide for yourself how you're going to operate in this world. But do not close your eyes to reality.
And yeah, that's because reality is starting to hit in a big way. What's crazy about this is we know that fiat money is moving digital. How do we know? And you want to know why they're all suddenly changing their tune? It's because stablecoins are absolutely exploding right now. Check out these mind-blowing numbers. We're looking at almost $4 trillion in monthly transfer volume. Let me say that again. $4 trillion moving through stablecoins every single month. The market cap just keeps climbing higher and higher. We're approaching 200 million stablecoin holders worldwide. That's almost 200 million people who've decided traditional banking isn't cutting it anymore. And get this, we've got nearly 30 million monthly active addresses. That means 30 million people are actively using stablecoins every month. These numbers are absolutely insane. When you see the monthly transfer volume chart, it's like watching a rocket ship taking off. No wonder the banks are scrambling to get involved. They can't ignore numbers like these anymore. We are almost at some of these additional peaks here. Again, stablecoins are only continuing to grow more and more and more. And yes, we are 100% focused on all stablecoins, not just RLUSD. However, now let's shine a spotlight on something really exciting. RLUSD is absolutely crushing it right now. We're looking at almost $874 million, and it's up nearly 20% in just the last 30 days. That's incredible growth. But here's where it gets even crazier. The monthly transfer volume hit $6.5 billion, and that's up over 90% in the past month alone. We're literally watching this massive shift happen in real time. And here's a little insider detail that a lot of people don't know. The IMF actually has some pretty significant connections to Ripple. These aren't new relationships either. They go way back. In fact, if you dig into Ripple's original documentation, you'll find the IMF listed right there in their regulatory and policy engagement section. So when the IMF starts talking about accepting the digital future of money, and we see RLUSD exploding like this, well, let's just say that's probably not a coincidence. The pieces are all connecting, and the growth numbers are speaking for themselves. We're talking about ongoing engagement with over 40 regulators worldwide. And get this, some pretty massive names are on that list. The Bank of England? Yep, they're in there. Saudi Arabia's Monetary Authority? Absolutely. The Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Council? That's a huge one right there. But here's the kicker. The IMF isn't just connected to Ripple. They actually selected Ripple to serve on their high-level advisory group on fintech. Think about that for a second. The same organization that's now telling everyone to accept reality about digital money has had Ripple advising them on financial technology. When you start connecting these dots, it paints a pretty clear picture of what's been happening behind the scenes. This isn't just random coincidence. This is years of relationship building and strategic positioning finally paying off. And remember that iconic photo? You've got Brad Garlinghouse sitting right there with Christine Lagarde, who, by the way, works super closely with the IMF. Then there's the IMF FinTech Council member who actually used to work at Ripple. All roads lead back to Ripple, folks. This is exactly why I keep telling you guys, Ripple isn't just some random crypto company playing around with stablecoins or pushing XRP for kicks. This is way bigger than that. Ripple has direct connections to some of the most powerful financial organizations on the planet. The networking they've been doing behind the scenes for years, it's absolutely mind-blowing. They're part of the BIS's CPMI group. That's massive. We're talking about connections to the DTCC, the World Economic Forum, the World Bank. You name a major financial institution, and chances are Ripple has ties to them. So when we hear the IMF managing director talking about accepting digital reality, and we see every major bank in the world suddenly jumping into crypto and stablecoins, this isn't happening in a vacuum, people. These aren't coincidences. This is the result of years of strategic positioning and relationship building at the highest levels of global finance. It's very clear that we are in the beginning stages of one of the biggest revolutions in history around our financial system. And also, don't forget that it's not just stablecoins. But there's another piece of this puzzle that's absolutely exploding right now. Tokenized US Treasuries are going through the roof. And here's something really important that connects all the dots. Stablecoins and US Treasuries are actually deeply connected. Most stablecoins are backed by US Treasuries and US debt, which means they're essentially supporting the US dollar. This is huge because it explains why governments around the world are suddenly paying attention to stablecoins. They're not just looking at some random digital tokens. They're looking at instruments that are actually strengthening the US dollar and the treasury market. It's like stablecoins have become this unexpected ally to traditional finance. No wonder every government is scrambling to figure out their stablecoin strategy. They're realizing that fighting stablecoins might actually mean fighting against their own financial interests. Pretty clever how this all works together, right? And here's where it gets really interesting. The US government is starting to throw their full weight behind stablecoins in a massive way. They're not staying quiet about it either. They're actively voicing their support because they've figured out that stablecoins are becoming absolutely crucial to the entire US financial system. It's like they've had this light bulb moment. Wait, these stablecoins are actually helping us, not hurting us. But what makes this timing so perfect is that this is happening at the exact same moment that literally every major institutional player out there is tokenizing their funds. We're talking about a complete transformation of how money moves around the world. It's like watching all the pieces of a massive puzzle finally click into place at once. The government supports stablecoins, the institutions are tokenizing everything, and the banks are racing to get involved. This is coordination on a global scale. Also, stocks are now getting tokenized. I mean, we're watching this massive transformation play out in real time, and honestly, this is exactly what we've been talking about and warning you guys about for years. It's finally becoming reality. Every major player, from central banks to the biggest financial organizations on the planet, they're all basically screaming at us, "Don't blink. Wake up and face what's happening right now." And what's happening is crystal clear. Traditional fiat money is being replaced by digital fiat, aka stablecoins. This is going to power tokenization on a massive scale and turn blockchain technology into the backbone of our entire financial system. So here's the bottom line, folks. You're either locked in, prepared, and ready for what's coming, or you're about to miss the biggest financial shift of our lifetime. All right, guys, that's a wrap. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. Want to stay connected? Follow me on Twitter and jump into our free Discord. You'll find all the links in the description below. This has been Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.